Hi, I'm Genea Charpentier.
Hi, my name is Zoey Siewert.
Hi, I'm Kiefer O'Reilly, and this is Permanent Ring Press.
Hi, Genea. How's it going today?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. What have you and your family been up to during this time?
Um, well, it's definitely been a little bit difficult for everyone, I'm guessing. I have two dogs, so we've been trying to get super active with my two dogs. I have two sisters too, so just playing a bunch of board games, watching movies. Definitely a good time to watch a lot of movies because movies are the best. So
And they kind of take your mind away from what's going on, but quality family time is always something to, I'm sure, cherish. Congratulations on your Leo Award nomination for The Man in the High Castle. You played Jennifer Smith. What challenged you the most about this role?
I think that because this role was so different from what I've done before, it definitely like widened who I can play as a character, especially because Jennifer Smith is such a different character and there's just so many layers to her and to the show as well. I think what challenged me most about this role was a lot of the emotions that I had to portray, just because before this role, I hadn't really explored that kind of side of my career and just the roles that I've played in the past. So I think just overall the emotions that I've portrayed in this role and just seeing like things that have actually happened come to life, it was really, really astonishing to me too.
And it was a very intense show. Do you have a favorite scene that you filmed over the 4 seasons?
I would have to say that this might seem like a generic like answer, but I think that the last scene that we filmed was what was in the last episode, Fire from the Gods, and I was with Chayla. So this was a very difficult scene, but at the same time, it was very empowering too. I think that this was my favorite scene just because this was like a whole wrap up to the show, and it seemed unreal to me that all of this had happened like in my life, and I just experienced like half of my childhood was on the show, so it was just surreal that it was ending in such a cool way. I think I have to add too that scene was just, not only was it my favorite scene to film, but it was also really cool to watch like in the end and see how it like turned out. But overall that was, I think, my favorite scene to like watch and portray.
So we were sad to see the show come to its end after 4 seasons, but as you mentioned, a nice way to end it off and kind of have that closure. You've been very busy. You've also been working on When Calls the Heart, actually, like around the same time you've been filming the shows concurrently. So you play Laura Campbell. What is your favorite part about playing Laura?
Like I mentioned, both the shows are very different. So really seeing the side by side for both the shows and portraying such different characters is like one of my favorite things. I think my favorite thing about playing Laura, especially in season 7, was being with little Jack, because he was just the little cutest baby ever, and it's just a lot of fun to be in period pieces because like the clothing is so cool, and just being in an environment that you normally don't experience is such a cool experience.
So When Calls the Heart it was announced season 8 is ago. When that does happen, what are you hoping to see from Laura in future seasons?
I hope to see Laura grow up in Hope Valley. I think that it would be really cool to see a younger character develop into something a little bit bigger. I would love to keep being little Jack's nanny because it's just such a fun experience and it's really entertaining to be with him. I think that Laura could potentially grow into the town a little bit more and kind of like stand her ground with a couple more things, and she already does. But overall, I just think that the storylines, there's so many different stories that they could go with, and I'm really excited to see what they do.
We're really excited to see it happen. As you mentioned, there's still so much room for her to grow. You mentioned little Jack. You spend a lot of time working closely with Aaron and then the young cast. So when the cameras aren't rolling, what are some things you like to do together on and off set?
This is such a fun question. There's an infinite amount of answers for it because honestly, all of the cast and I were just such a big family. And I started this show on season 3, so I was introduced in season 3. And it's been a big part of my childhood, so I've grown up with a lot of these people. And overall, like, we'll have like parties together, and we always have the season, like the premiere together too. So we'll all go to one house and then we'll all party together, and that's just a lot of fun. Normally on set, unfortunately right now, we can't see each other, but when we're on set, and when I'm with the kids, because sometimes I'm not with the kids anymore, which is unfortunate, but it happens. So we'll just find things to do. We'll go pet the horses and just kind of play around the town, because realistically the town is built like a real town, so you can actually do a lot of things in the town too.
It's like really a second home, like when you're offset, even when you're not filming in a certain location area, it looks like there's always something fun to do. Have you been keeping in contact virtually?
Mm-hmm. We've done a couple of like FaceTime calls with a couple of them. Cadence and I have done like lives, and Grayson and I have just been texting. So we all try and keep in touch. Like, even if all of this hadn't have happened, we'd probably still keep in touch when we aren't filming. I'll text Erin sometimes, and we keep in touch like pretty often. So it's not like it's much different, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's very different.
It's
So
just seeing each other on set will have to be take a little bit longer than usual. Let's
yeah.
talk about the Hardys, a super fun and supportive community. How special is it to interact with those fans both in person and online?
It is surreal that our little show has developed into something so much bigger. And it's crazy to think about how many people really watch the show, because when we're filming, it doesn't seem like it's gonna go many places, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna reach a bunch of people. But in in reality, it reaches so many people and it reaches so many different hearts. We have a Hardy's family reunion every year, so I really love interacting with them and meeting everyone, because it's just so fun to see people who watch the show and love you as a character and love the show as just a whole, to like interact with them. It's crazy.
It's so nice that you also get the opportunity to do that. Hopefully reunions, they might look a little different in the future, but hopefully still get to, meet those faces, meet the fans of the show. Now, your sister, Megan, is also an actress. What's it like having her around? Do you help each other with auditions, share tips, things like that?
Well, Megan is she has always been one of my biggest role models. She's probably one of the biggest reasons I got into acting. And it's just really nice to bounce ideas off of each other. If we have a taping or an audition, we read it together and we're like, oh, what if you did this or this? And what if you changed this up to sound like this? So it's just awesome having another person who knows the business and who kind of knows how to like work things to like have ideas, because a lot of the time her ideas are different than mine, and sometimes I'll like her ideas better, and overall we just bounce really good ideas off of each other, which makes us better actors.
And you've worked on a couple of short projects together, short films, I think back in 2010, 2013. Have you talked about, reuniting, doing a project, a new one?
um I don't know if we really thought about it that much. Obviously it would be a lot of fun, especially because we're older. I think that the storylines could be a lot bigger because we can do a lot more when we're older. Um, yeah, I don't even know how old we were when we filmed Old Woman into the Woods or something. I think Old Woman in the Woods. I'll figure out the title.
Must have been
Yeah,
pretty young though.
yeah, we were pretty young, so that's probably why I want to like remember it. But that was definitely cool because we played sisters, so I would love to play sisters again.
Casting directors, take note. But as you mentioned, when you are older, there is like a wider scope that you can pull from. Hopefully something comes up in the future, or you'll just have to
Mhm.
create your own.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have a signature question for you. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
Um, I think that I would be mint chocolate chip. This being, first of all, this is my favorite flavor, and second of all, there's just like a lot to it, and it's very interesting. And I'm a very interesting person. So I think that me and mint chocolate chip, we would really hit it off.
I'm happy to be joined by Kiefer O'Reilly. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. What have you and your family been up to during this quarantine period?
We've been going outside a lot. Well, my parents have been going outside a lot. My sisters and I go outside like every day, so nothing's changed for much for me.
Yeah. So you've been involved in acting since you were young. So you're still young, you're only 12. I know your parents own an animation studio. So what's always drawn you towards the entertainment industry?
Um, Nothing like too serious. I've just like the actual acting, like when they hit record. I like, you know, acting.
Congratulations on your nomination, Leo Award nomination for Best Guest Performance for your work in The Good Doctor. You played Charlie. He was a young cancer patient. What was your favorite memory you had from set?
Thank you. And my best memory I had from set was we did so every episode. There's a new patient, and sometimes the actress Fiona Gelman, she makes like a parody song of whatever about the episode. And for this time, it was Part of Your World by Ariel, and I just had so much fun thinking of the ideas, and it was so fun working with her. She was so talented.
And I think you did share that video, or it was shared on the Good Doctors page, something like that on social media, so people can go to check it out. You can next be seen in the upcoming Disney Plus series, The Mighty Ducks, as Logan. You were not born when the original series was released in the 90s, so what knowledge or familiarity did you have with the franchise before, starting the project?
Well, I played hockey before Mighty Ducks, and I always knew about Mighty Ducks. I watched the first one, but I didn't watch the other two. So I was really excited to get the audition because I love hockey and acting. When those two worlds collide, it's a match made in heaven.
So I know you probably can't say too much about your character, but Emilio Estevez is returning as Coach Gordon. He's such an experienced actor. What's it like working with him on set?
He is so fun. And so I've watched Breakfast Club. I've watched all of the movies, and when he first came in and he introduced himself, it was surreal to think that that's actually like Emilio Estevez. It's not a 2D flat screen TV, and he doesn't think as himself as Emilio Estevez. It's Emilio Estevez. He thinks of himself as Emilio, just like a normal average guy, which is really nice.
It's great to see when you have that experience. He's such a humble guy in person as well. Such a great, talented young cast aside from yourself. I know production is put on pause right now, but you did get to spend some time with them. This hockey team has both boys and girls. So, what kind of cast bonding activities did you like to do?
Oh, we off of set we hung out every day. We went to the park. We just walked around. Sometimes we went to the movie one time. We watched Knives Out. It was an incredible movie. It was just so fun hanging out with each and every one of them every day. And
Hopefully, production starts back up soon when it's safe to do so. Have you been keeping in touch, doing any video chats, stuff like that?
yeah, we did one yesterday, and we've been keeping in touch. We've been sending jokes and making sure everyone's okay, staying healthy. Everyone on the cast is nice.
So, you did say in an interview before, the best part about filming a TV series is making friends. Another show you worked on was Home Before Dark. I know Brooklyn, Dean, Nicholas, you're close with them as well. What was your favorite part about working on that show? It had such an intense storyline. Again, you played young Richie, so just tell me a bit about your experience on that one.
Well, I think the best part of the cast, like Brooklyn, she can go from this serious Hildy who's devoted to cracking this case to fun, lighthearted, goofy Brooklyn, which is I don't know how she does this.
There will be a season 2. Hopefully, you get to see Brooklyn again. I think actually I saw an interview. She is kind of in Vancouver right now, though obviously you want to keep your distance, but when it's safe to do so, more friends, more hanging out. We have a signature question for you. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
Um, well, personality wise, I would think uh uh probably vanilla, because like I'm not much of like a, when you meet me, it's I'm pretty normal. I'm not like a, I don't have like a third personality or something. I'm pretty vanilla.
Hi, Zoe. How are you today?
Good, I'm great. How are you? Thank
I'm
you.
doing great. Thank you. You've been so busy. You have so much to talk about. What have you and your family been up to these past 2.5 months, first off?
All right. So, in the last year, I want to say in about July, we went to Toronto and I actually filmed a show called Mallory Towers with 8 other girls who are from England, which is insane, but they're all really fun and lovely. And we were in Toronto for about 2 months, and then we went to England and we shot outside in an abbey for a month, which was super beautiful because it was actually my first time in England. Um, so that was really cool, and we shot there for a month, and then I actually went to Montreal and filmed the Wacky Word Show, which we did a bunch of songs that are actually now on YouTube, and we filmed them, and we were there for about 2 weeks, me and my dad, which was really a good time to spend with my dad, just us two. And yeah, and now we're here yeah, and I've been doing lots of Pop Kids, lots of videos for them. So yeah.
So busy. Let's talk about your Leo Award nomination first. As you mentioned, Wacky Word Show. Do you have a favorite episode that you worked on?
I do. Well, actually, my favorite episode happens to be Spies. Because we learned all about being spies and how they communicate. And I actually want to do that forever since I was a kid. So good time to do it.
And you got to talk to so many guests as well. Essentially conducted your own interviews. You did skits, songs. So, what was it like being, involved in so many different aspects as a host?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so cool just learning from professionals and just learning from a bunch of them and just knowing great skills to have and just learning more about them and actually getting like one-on-one time with the professional and getting to do that with me and my co-host Lucas. And I thought that was just really actually super fun and very good to know and really awesome to just be there and be able to do that.
Yeah, soak in that knowledge. You really learn so much. So you play Alicia in Mallory Towers. You mentioned this great group of girls. All of them are from the UK. What are some cast bonding activities that you liked to do together?
Well, first one, I'd probably say during the weekend, we'd all get together and we'd usually go on walks, which is really nice, just time to spend with the girls and, getting to watch the pretty sunsets and take pictures, normal things, teens would do. But yeah, it was a good time to spend with them and bond with them because, we couldn't always do it together on set because we weren't always in the same scene. So yeah, just getting to hang out together as a group of good friends and good, like, nice group of girls. Yeah, we're so close and it's just so nice to just bond like that. And especially in such a beautiful place. Like Toronto and England are great places. They're really nice.
You mentioned being in the UK for the first time. Did you get to do some sightseeing? What did you get up to doing while over there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Lots of sightseeing. We were very much tourists. We took big red buses all over England. And my mom actually grew up in England, which is really cool. So we got to go and see where she grew up, which was a whole other experience. We drove all the way to Birmingham and we saw where she lived. And the people who lived there actually let us come in and see the house, which was insane. Like we didn't even know that was going to happen. So yeah, that was really awesome. And seeing all the sights, London Eye and Big Ben. Yeah, it was great.
Must have been nice for your mom as well, seeing some of those roots. You mentioned Acapop Kids. Where did your passion for music and singing come from?
Well, actually, it came from my mom. My mom is a singer-songwriter, and she taught me how to sing since I could talk, basically. And I've been playing the piano with her, and so my music kind of just grew from there. And my dad plays guitar, so every night he would sing us, bedtime songs, and I'd just sing along with them. Even though he's like, you can't sing, you gotta go to bed. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stand up here and sing. But yeah, so it grew from there. And then actually, like, I want to say a month ago, my mom actually, like, my grandma told her that her dream was to be a singer, but she couldn't. So now the most thing that's inspiring to me is like my grandma, because she couldn't sing. So now it's like I sing for my grandma because she wasn't able to. And now I have the opportunities to do that. So yeah.
That's such a beautiful thing. And Acapop Kids, I know they've been doing mini videos because you can't all be in the same place for those large group music videos. Have
Yep.
you been, keeping in touch with any of the other Acapop Kids? You're all such talented young vocalists.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have been keeping in touch with them. Actually, we've been talking a lot on Instagram. I was supposed to go to Acapella Academy this year, which unfortunately didn't happen because, quarantine. But yeah, so some of the Acapop kids were actually also going to go. And so, we would communicate about Acapella Academy and like, being able to stay together, which was really fun. And yeah, we actually were thinking of doing like a big TikTok thing, like a TikTok dance together, which is, of course, something kids do these days.
It's always great to strengthen your skills. Hopefully, yeah, the opportunity does come down later in the road once it's safer. As you mentioned, your mom is a singer-songwriter, your family is in the entertainment industry. So how nice is it, coming home, having that support system behind you?
It's really great. Honestly, like, we get to do auditions together, which is always super fun. And, getting to experience it together, like, we are such a close family and we always get to travel together. Like, our biggest dream was to, travel for work. And so the fact that I was able to travel and go to Toronto in England and I got to do it with my family was just like crazy, but it was amazing, just actually having our dream come true and just doing it together as a family. So,
And lots of more milestones to come, hopefully, for all
oh
of
yeah,
you. Now, our signature question, if you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
that's a great question. Honestly, I think I'd be coffee. Coffee is my favorite ice cream flavor, not only because it's delicious, but technically I'm not allowed to drink coffee yet. So it's the closest I can get. So, coffee would be I would love to be coffee. Yep.